Hello, folks, and cheers. I am with you here on Wednesday, the 18th of July, 2018, and I want to mark the passing of another mark. We like numbers, we like milestones, and I just passed the 17,000 subscribers mark. Thank you. It maybe means nothing at all, but like I said, we count, we keep track of numbers, we like anniversaries, we like achievements. And so I remember as a member of the vinyl community, when I got my first 500 subscribers, that seemed like a really big deal. The number 17,000 feels good, but what it means is kind of maybe nothing. My videos on average get 1,500 views. So apparently 17,000 people at one time or another saw or heard something they liked and gave me a vote of approval. That seems to be what a subscription really is, as opposed to someone saying, well, I'm going to watch every video. I understand some of you do watch almost every video, but apparently there's millions of people on the planet. People are just stopping by, seeing something they like, and they give them a subscription and they're gone, But thank you. It feels good. I wanted to show, because I got some comments. It's interesting. I'll show records and I'll get comments where people think I just discovered something. Well, you don't know me, so you don't know that. But I bought that Random Hold album in trade, or rather I got that Random Hold record in trade recently and talked about it. Apparently some people got the impression that it was new to me. No, I bought this when it came out, Random Hold, this EP with Meat, The Ballad, and Avalanche. Those and Montgomery Clift. I like those songs much better. Then I also have this, which I didn't pull it. It's got some of the same songs as that, and it has some of the songs from this. So apparently this is an American. You know how they'll do that? They put this and some of this together for the American release. Okay, makes sense. That my response to this was kind of lukewarm, because even after I bought this, I never played it much. But when this first came out, I did listen to this. I did like that. Recently someone asked me, do I review digital music? And the answer is no. And there's the reason why. I could be reviewing digital music till the cows come home, because everyone is releasing music, and the easiest way to do it is to just put it online. For me, part of listening to music is it's a ritual. I like playing records, putting the CD on, looking at the artwork, all of that. So I'm really not into cassettes, and I don't, I for the longest time only wanted to receive vinyl, but the reality is that not everyone can afford vinyl. So yeah, I do accept CDs for review to a degree. Now, I was going to grab the box, but I didn't. I've been doing this for over 7 years now, and over the years, many VC members have sent me copies of their personal music, not music that they've released, but just stuff they wanted me to hear. I have a collection of that, but I'm not interested in receiving a lot of that. It's nice to hear people's ideas, but my house is too full as it is. So I'm interested in actual releases, vinyl in particular, to receive, to review. Okay. I went ahead and finished moving out. Well, I had another sale, and I had another day of sale, and after that I took the remaining portion of those that didn't sell to record vendors. The video I made recently at the record store, I took some more and got some more trades, so I'll show some of that. Again, I won't show everything today. But I'd like to share with you that in that video I showed an album of mine, Sonospheres number 2, which is sold out. Someone bought it. I thought they would. I thought someone would buy it if I showed it. What I'm going to do is, I was down at Homer's, the oldest independent record store in Omaha, and noticed where they have added me as a card in the general rock section. You know, they have apparently they've been sitting on some of my albums that I've sold to them over the years. They've been sitting on them. They didn't sell them. So I'm going to make another video when I visit that store, possibly today or tomorrow, and show you what they have. I think they have 2 copies of Sonospheres 2, the one that the other guy, I've been sold out of it for years. And I never sold any to any distributors, so those copies are sold to individual people. If you come across one used somewhere, grab it, you know, because they're hard to find, okay? But I think Homer's has a couple copies. They might even have a copy of Dereck 2 on vinyl. But I went and because I do enjoy dropping the needle, here's something. I give a lot of information, okay? Just thank you folks for being with me. I mean, apparently that's why you're with me. You want to hear what I have to say. Recently on NPR, a couple nights ago, Viv Albertine, formerly of the band The Slits, did an interview because she has a new book out. And The Slits, as you know, were an all-female punk band that broke some traditions, you know, and made some much-needed noise in recognizing the validity of women doing music and not having to always compare it to the boys. Anyway, in the interview, she talks about a lot of things, and one of the things she talks about is autism, you know, and she spoke about it. It was really refreshing to hear her say it because she talked about her family. She talked about how many musicians are on the autistic spectrum, you know, from barely socially functional to high functioning social. But again, the thing about autistic people can show rare or interesting gifts of talent or focus, like Rain Man. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if I'm somewhere on that spectrum autistically. I say that, you know, honestly, because the things that have always interested me still interest me greatly. And when it comes to social behaviors, I had to watch for cues into my 20s, what other people do in social situations, because I was clueless. You know, I just was not understanding why people did certain things. I'm glad to be who I am, autistic or not. The other thing that I'll say right away is that the type of person who would hear that information and immediately downgrade their view of me or use that information to make fun of me, those people, that person has a lot of work to do. That person is a lowlife, okay? Let's just put things where they are, okay? People need to do better, you know? It's not, you know, being sarcastic and funny and putting people down. For a minute in college that was funny. It's not funny, okay? So here's some more records that I picked up in trade. Some things I just wanted, you know. Some things are so old now that when I put them on, it's like it's a pure nostalgia trip. But I've waited so long to have the record. It's like, well, I want it. I want to, you know, I want to play it. Kevin Ayers, original member of Soft Machine. My least favorite member because of his songs, okay? His songs are very much about the lyrics. He's a good lyric writer. That is not what interests me. He has Robert Wyatt and members of Soft Machine on almost all of his records. Steve Hillage, Okay, those kind of players. So the music always ends up being interesting. His songs are interesting, but that again, I just want to say that's not what I'm listening to music for. Is I want to, get this story, that I want to be knocked out by your words. Nah, I don't. No, I don't really care, really. Not really. Haven't played this yet, but I picked it up. Another Jamaluddin Takuma. I have a couple of his albums already. And this is Renaissance Man. Bass player who is, I believe, now mainly involved in instruction. Has a very percussive, busy style. I believe he played with Ornette Coleman for a while. Jamaluddin Takuma. Pick up another Miles Davis, Quiet Nights. I had never owned this. Kind of just was one that was not even on my radar to get by Miles Davis. But with the trade value, I got a good amount. 2 trips now, I got a good amount of trade. So I got some good records. Played side 1 of this, and this is wonderful. And absolutely, Gil Evans and Miles Davis created a sound and a harmonic palette that was pretty unique at the time. Harmonic and disharmonic at the same time. Quiet Nights, really good. This one was a great find. I'm going to put my glasses back on. Because this was in the store sealed. This album was released in 1975. An album sitting unsealed for 40 plus years. Ornette Coleman, the Great London Concert on Heiress to Freedom double album. This, it still crackles, It's awesome. Ornette Coleman is not for the weak-hearted, not for the faint-hearted. This starts off with a side-long piece called Forms and Sounds for Wind Quartet. 24 minutes. You're going to know right away whether or not you can handle this or whether this interests you. It's deep. The players are playing a composed piece and improvising on it. And it's intense. And it's the sort of thing that you give into it to reap its rewards. If you don't pay attention to it, it'll probably annoy most people. Then, after side 1, we get into the band with Ornette blowing. Excuse me. Ornette Coleman is one of my favorite players. Like most music, you hear what they say, the blues and everything. Well, I want to put it like this, because I'm tired of that, What people keep calling the blues is what we hear is the fact that people are alive and human. And we're hearing the expression of human feeling, okay? So I hear that in Ornette's playing, someone could say that it's just you hear the blues. I just want to take it past that, you know what I'm saying? What we hear is human expression. We hear the fact that the person is alive and the music is a true expression of their life. It's real, okay? As opposed to manufactured pop music, which can be good entertainment, but has no soul. Okay, I'll leave it right there. Another ECMer I picked up, the Arnold Anderson Quartet, Green Shading into Blue. This is a lovely album. Really doesn't sound like an ECM album. I like that. Arnold Anderson, bass player from Europe, Norway possibly. I just got up. If you catch that my stomach is growling, I didn't eat. I just got up, started some coffee. I need to go get breakfast. I'm going to finish this first. Have more to go to the post office. These are selling every day. So yeah, don't wait. It's going to sell out. I picked up 2 more ECMs because I do like the ECM label. I like the aesthetic. I would collect all ECM records if I could, and if I had the space. In general, just like what that label does. Where I draw the line is I'm not buying much Keith Jarrett. He has hundreds of albums, and he's at the back of the list of stuff on ECM. However, Jack DeJohnette Special Edition, I need to get all of those. This one is called Album. Apparently that's his wife and daughters with him on the cover. This stuff is just great. Jack DeJohnette does a lot of variety in the way he presents his music. And it's, he really knows his rhythms. He can do the hell out of the New Orleans shuffle. And the New Orleans strut, I should say. And he can also shuffle his ass off. And both of those beats, any of you guys who are drummers know, to play a proper shuffle, and to be able to strut like you do in New Orleans, you have to know what the hell you're doing. You can't fake it. My first Arvo part on vinyl, Tabula Rasa. I've had this on CD forever. Keith Jarrett on piano here. Again, it's one of those things where you need to be in a mood. Things need to be quiet around me, so I can just let this wash over me. Arvo part, Tabula Rasa. Really gorgeous and expansive music. You need to take your time with this stuff. I got some great records, I really did. This one I knew was going to be bluesy, but I've never had any of the vinyl. I have one of their other albums on CD. So when I saw it, the price wasn't too bad, I grabbed it. Originally it was in Jethro Tull, Mick Abraham's Bloodwind Pig, A Head Rings Out. Is that it? Yep, A Head Rings Out. I've always liked this funky ass looking cover and the name of the band, Bloodwind Pig. Weird, funky name for a band. But no, I've heard them and they're really bluesy, but good. Thankfully, this one, as bluesy as it is, it has one of their best known songs, See My Way, which I have on something else. And they play around with the blues and they jam out in a jazz way. So actually I was happy in listening to this that I like it more than I thought I would. Thinking I just finally want to get this. It goes back to the 70s. Here's another one that finally have a copy of it. I've been wanting it on the Vertigo label, but this was cool to find the American. Beggar's Opera, Act 1. German-based prog band. The guitar player Ricky Gardner helped to write some big song with David Bowie. Kind of interesting. But this, again, he had a good price on it, but this is the American version on the Verve label, which brought us, a lot of jazz and Frank Zappa. But it's on the Vertigo Swirl originally, which the copies of that are pricey. This is a good, classically oriented, progressive rock album. I love that cover. That is, again, to me, a very iconic Vertigo Records example of a cover. Their records have these really cool, kind of surreal, fantasy-like record covers. Good album, Beggar's Opera, Act 1. Real happy to get that in trade. Here's one that I got that I already have, but I couldn't leave it because it's just going to sit there, and I do appreciate it even though I already own it. Premiata Forneria Marconi, Photos of Ghosts. I have 2 copies of this. But the reason why I bought this is my copies are English. This is an original Italian pressing on the Numero Uno label in very good shape. So, yeah, and this is a lovely album. Still love this album. Just fantastic. Just so wonderful. PFM. Yeah, this is the sort of thing, this sort of music is the thing that I'm looking for, not beats. A lot of people, when vinyl came back around and people who like to crate dig, the big thing with a lot of folks and what's the word on the street is beats, man, beats. Dig those beats. Well, I like beat and rhythm, but I have the balls to say I know what I like, and I like beauty. I'm more interested in beauty than beats. Actually, I am. I'm more interested in human expression than funky hip beats. I think a certain amount of that is because everyone is concerned about what they look like to others and being hip and doing the next cool thing. I can respect that to a degree and have wanted to do that to a certain degree. But I just love music and I know what I like, and I like beauty. So this is a beautiful album, and some of you people who are chasing the most popular next thing, forget it and just listen to some real music and discover something. This is an amazing album. I could go and go and go, but I'll show you one more, and I'll show more in another video and get to some more records out of my collection, because I have records that people are asking about and artists that people are asking about, and I do have these artists. I just haven't got around to wanting to show them yet. This album was pricey, but I grabbed it in the trade. Circus Maximus, throwback to the psychedelic days, the end of the 60s. Is this 1970 or 69? It doesn't say on here, but this is around 1969 or 70. Circus Maximus, pop psych. You see copies sometimes go for big money, and one of the reasons why is because of this fresh-faced kid right here. This is probably the first appearance on vinyl of the country superstar Jerry Jeff Walker, the guy that had the hit with Mr. Bojangles. Nitty Gritty Dirt Band had a hit with it too, but Jerry Jeff Walker's Mr. Bojangles is the one I think most of America or the world remembers. And this is a band, probably one of his first bands he was in as a kid. And it's more of a collector's item. I'm going to listen to this some more, but it sounds pretty tinny. And they're kind of chasing the ghost of what's popular at the time. Even looks like it with that sort of fake psychedelic cover. I call it sort of, pastiche looking. Some psychedelic art is truly psychedelic. Anyway, this is my 17,000 subscribers video. Thank you very much, people. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Buy the CD because it's selling. I'm selling them every day. There was only 300. I will probably be announcing that I've sold another 100 here shortly. Thank you. I don't know what it's going to take to get it out on vinyl. I'm not going to do a fundraiser. I have had a bad experience with that. I did one of my own, and I had one done for me. And the one that was done for me caused me a lot of heartache and abuse. I was abused, as a result of that. So I'm not wanting to do a fundraiser to make another record. I'd like to get a label, someone to do it, to put it out, because it will sell. Once again, if you're with a label out of Europe or somewhere, I can't see any reason why you wouldn't put my record out. It will sell. You'll make your money back. Get a hold of me. I probably need to get out and beat the pavement here and try to drum up business to get this on vinyl. It really deserves it. The world is burning, but grab it. You can have it now on CD.